the opportunity presented itself. So we are out here at Underground MX in Kemp, Texas. If you haven't been to one of my videos before, welcome. I like to answer questions like, what does a track have to offer? Do they have bathrooms? Do they have multiple tracks? Is it good for kids? What kind of stuff do you like? What do you not like? So we're gonna answer all those questions right now about Underground MX. Stay tuned. Great turnout, geez. Man, this is a big track. It has some really cool lines, lots of options, lots of jumps, lots of obstacles, a lot of rollers, a lot of doubles. There's a quad behind me that can be doubled, tripled, or quadded. It's massive. So I mentioned this is a rare opportunity. It is not open to the public on a regular basis. They're not like some tracks that are open every weekend. It's just select weekends. So they put it out there on social media, which I'll link below, that they were opening up today and today only. Massive turnout. You saw in the footage at the starting line, there are a lot of bikes here today, which is great. It's great to see people supporting their local track like this. Because of the size of the group today, they were splitting it into different size bikes for the first hour. They did 50s, and they did 65s, 85s, and super minis, and then they did big bikes. Because of the amount of people, they're actually splitting it into 3 separate big bike groups in the next hour so that there's an A, B, and C group. That way there's not too many people out there at one time. I'm a C-class rider. I'm by no means a fast guy out there. I don't claim to be, but I'm glad that they're splitting it up because there were guys that were literally jumping over other people. So it can be a bit sketchy when you get 50 bikes out there of various skill levels. So it's good to see that they're monitoring that and that they're taking care of it by breaking it into groups. of right now, there's only one track to ride here at Underground, and it's the main track that I've been riding most of the day. There is a track in progress. This is a supercross track. This is the amateur supercross track, which will be open soon. They told me that they are getting very close to finishing it. They do have to finish the fence and do some finishing touches on the track itself, but this is a legit supercross track with big bull turns. Got a whoop section, lots of different rhythm sections. It's pretty cool. Not sure when it's going to open though. For days like today, they did not allow camping last night because they didn't open the gates until Sunday morning at 10 a.m. However, when they're racing, they do have RV hookups, as you can see behind me. There's electric, there's water. You do have to pay for those, so if you plan on camping, please let them know. That way you can reserve a spot ahead of time. So a few things to note. They do have restrooms here. There are a couple showers as well. The restrooms are one for men, one for women's, but there's only 2 showers that kind of in the middle, so it's whoever gets there first gets to take it. You'll see there are some trees around in the pit area, but for the most part, there's no shade. So bring a pop-up if it is a clear day. You will want that to keep yourself cool, especially in Texas. This is a very large property. There's plenty of place to park. There's plenty of room, and there are kids that are riding their pit bikes around too. So out in this field right here, I don't know if they're allowed to do this, but they made kind of a turn track. The dirt, let's talk about the dirt for a minute. It's really soft. The dirt is almost like a sand, but it does have more texture to it than a sand does. It's not super flowy like like the river track at Three Palms, for example, is super deep sand. This is not that. This is just soft dirt. It does rut in the turns really deep, to the point where there have been a lot of people who tip over just because they go to put their foot out for balance. They catch their foot and they just fall over. This is a track that will teach you ruts very quickly. If you are not good at ruts like myself, it becomes a very hard track. If you think you're fast, but you're not actually a good technical rider, this track will make you slow down and could cause some issues there because of how technical it is. The ruts do get very, very deep. There are many ruts in the turns. It's hard to go around them, but it's a very, very cool track. 50s are making it around the track. There are plenty of kids on 50s, Cobras, KTMs, even the eKTM is out there, and they're able to do the track. However, this is not a track for beginners. My kids would not be able to make their way around this track because of the ruts, because of the softness. This is not a beginner's track. This is somebody who has a lot of experience, can be out here, whether it be a 50 or 450. All size bikes can make it around if you have the skills to negotiate through the turns. That's the hard part. Something I absolutely love seeing on a bigger track like this, something that has big jumps, is flaggers. I absolutely love it when tracks have flaggers out there, because there can be things that happen in a track of this size. So the flaggers are there to help denote if there's somebody down in a turn or at a jump, but they all have radios too, so they can radio back to the main control tower and call for help if they need to. Thankfully, it hasn't happened today, but they've needed to do that. But there are flaggers out there to stop people if somebody were to go down in a turn. That way they don't get hit, and it just keeps it safer for everybody. I love seeing that. And this track will wear you out. I did 2 very short sessions, and I'm tired. I'm out of shape, and I need to ride more. I wish I had technical tracks like this that I could practice on a very regular basis. Now, another thing I wish for was more money to do that. It gets expensive, and this track is $50 to ride, which is the most expensive track that I have ever been to. But this track is massive. This track takes a lot of effort to maintain. I'm sure for the right rider, it's worth it. To a beginner rider, it's not worth $50. To a pro level A, maybe B rider, yeah, it's worth $50 because there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of things that a lot of tracks don't have that this track does have. So if you're looking to hone your skills on virtually every kind of obstacle and prepare yourself for a national level race, this is a cool place to be. Something else I really do like is the fact that there's a PA system. So when they're calling out groups, it's not just by a sign or by a time clock. There's actually people on a radio saying, calling group A, giving people prep time to get up to the gates. They can stage effectively and then get out on the track when they need to, get the most out of their day. Definitely a good thing to see that. There is this cool bridge that goes over the first turn. So I don't know if they let people come out here during race time, but it's a great spot to watch. This is the kind of track that the more you ride it, the better you will like it. I feel like some of the obstacles are intimidating the first time you go out there, but the more you do it, the more you see it, the better you will be with it. And it's just a lot to take in. So your first time out here, if you've never been here before, don't feel bad going slow. That's fine. As long as you're safe and you're having fun, that's what matters.